Next up, we're gonna talk about K Michelle. K Michelle recently went on a rant talking about how in favor she is of black women dating interracially.
No.
So this went viral big time, and it went viral because of her loud, boisterous delivery. But she kind of went off because she feels as though black women should be allowed the freedom to be able to date any kind of man from any kind of race, and it don't matter. And people need to get off the backs of black women so that they can just live how they please and do whatever they want. And she feels so strongly about this that during an IG live stream session, whatever you want to call it, she got extra loud over it, extra loud, extra exasperated over this very thing. So here's some background real quick. Says K Michelle gets into passionate debate about interracial dating on IG Live. During a recent Instagram Live, K Michelle shared her thoughts on interracial dating. According to her, black women should be able to date whoever they want without facing any sort of backlash for it. Not everyone featured in her live agreed with her message. However, one man appeared arguing that when black men date outside of their race, they get crucified, questioning why the same rule wouldn't apply to black women. So we'll go ahead and just trot on down here. Let me go ahead and click this link. I'm gonna click this link so that we can get the full screen version on the X/Twitter page.
Interesting.
Because things are always better in full screen, I'd say.
Agreed.
But so here's K Michelle here ranting about black women and why they should be able to freely date interracially.
Yeah. Where my popcorn at?
Black women should be able to date outside of their race and date who they want.
Yeah, I ain't
right?
never brother. I don't know how that works.
Oh, but we should, but black women should be able to date outside their race, right?
So why is it that when black women do it, it's honored, and why is it that when black men do it, we get crucified? Okay, can y'all answer that real quick for me? Why is it that when black women date outside their race, they get praised?
All right, get
when
tired.
black men date outside their race, we get crucified.
Don't nobody black that no more. Don't matter. Can you play the guitar? All right, come on. Can I get my third loop? Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
I hate that.
That's the third loop.
I never heard you say that.
Stop. Come on. No.
Black men have just never been shown how to love.
Ooh, okay, we have how we feel. These conversations is needed.
Okay, you won the argument because you wouldn't let nobody else have a valid argument.
Yeah.
No, I let every man have an argument.
You shut everybody up.
I'm trying to tell y'all, ain't no black woman gotta sit up here and ride y'all dick and have y'all.
So why do we gotta sit there and talk too crazy?
Yeah, y'all talk y'all crazy.
Look how you yelling at.
I nobody gotta deal with y'all. Nobody living like that every day when y'all go fucking have. I want living like that. Come on, let's sing the song.
What?
Nothing I want to talk about. Get out of my face.
It's so right there.
Get out of my
Let
face.
me get it out.
Get out of my face.
Let me get it out.
I don't want
You
to.
on camera.
Stop. I can't stand
Right here. Can I get it out?
She been just
You don't
yelling
want me
at
to get it
us,
out. She cussing me out.
cussing us out. We
She
can't
trying to be mean on camera.
Shut the fuck up.
She is not like
Have
this,
we
y'all.
said any of
Cap.
those things? Have we said any of those
She was
things?
just being nice.
Our IG would have been the shadow, man.
Why you flexing for the fuck?
We'd have got blocked.
all my talented brothers in here like
crazy?
they no, but nobody fit. Black women is standing on what they standing on.
Not business.
Not business.
It's not business what they
They stand on money business. They ain't stand on business.
Black women got their own money. They don't need to stand on your money business.
Oh Lord. Oh brother. I forgot how that SpongeBob thing go. But yeah, man, I'll let you go first with this one. She said a mouthful with that. I'll let you have
Yeah.
it.
So towards the end, it kind of got a little incoherent. Yeah, after about a minute, I lost the plot. It just kind of seemed to just start to ramble. But for the first minute and some change, it made sense to me. So I agree with both. I agree with her, and I agree with those guys and what they were saying. Everybody's right to me.
Mhm.
First impressions on this particular situation, to me, both sides are right. And here's all I'll say. Okay. So, when Halle Berry was getting married to the Italian guy and to these other guys, I didn't hear much. Serena Williams' husband is not black. He's I forget what he is. I think he's Caucasian. They've pregnant. They've got a child. I think they got two child. I think they got two kids now. No one said much. In fact, that was heralded, celebrated. There's other women. You've got Tika Sumpter. She's married to a white guy. Don't really hear much in the way of criticism from that. That's more of a congratulatory thing. I'm glad you found your queen, your king. Good job. And they have children as well, family. They're married. Patina Miller. Patina Miller is the actress who plays Rock on the Raising Kanan show. She's a black woman. She's married to a white man. I don't hear much flack coming from that. Seems to be nothing for the most part, but congratulatory type sentiments. Just yesterday, either was that today? Yesterday, I read this. I'm not sure what day it was. I think it may have been yesterday. Jamie Foxx's daughter got engaged to her boyfriend, who's a white guy. And Jamie Foxx's daughter is getting into her career in entertainment. She's popular enough. She has a lot of Instagram followers, so on and so forth. So much so that when she does something, it might trend, right? And the only thing that trended was congratulations on your engagement. No one's really talking about how wrong she is for not being with a black man. So, to those guys' credit, in recent history, examples of black women, particularly in public, that I've seen dating white men in particular, but just generally speaking, dating outside of their race, I don't really see too much vitriol being thrown in their direction. However, I don't see the same thing when it comes to black men. When it comes to black men, I see the opposite. Mike Coulter gets a lot of flack. His wife is white. People want to ostracize him from the black community because his wife is white. Poor Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan dealt with speculation for years that he liked to date non-black women. He was the subject of all kind of discussions. Black women going at him. They want these receipts. Prove to us that you date black women, Michael B. Jordan. We want proof, because he's a private guy. So it wasn't until he went public with his relationship with Lori Harvey that he finally got the coalition off his back. Now there are certain murky ones like Taye Diggs. Taye Diggs has said certain things that are suspect, so he doesn't really get the benefit of the doubt because he said some problematic things from time to time. But there's other people who fit into these categories, right? Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Key and Peele, both of them married to white women. They get thrown all kinds of shade on a regular basis whenever the topic comes up because they're not married to black women. So I do see a diametric opposition of the way that it's received when black women do it versus the way that it is received when black men do it. I think that is factual, in my opinion. However, I agree with K. Michelle. Everyone should be free to do it. And we shouldn't, because the reason why I feel like this is because I think relationships and things like marriages are in a state of complete and utter chaos right now. I don't see it getting any better. I don't see it improving. I see it descending further into chaos. And because it's in such a state of chaos, all individuals owe it to themselves to maximize on all of the opportunities that they have available to them. Because things are just so crazy that you might find your compatible person in someone who comes from another community. You never know. Is it likely? I don't know. It depends on your sensibilities and your upbringing and some of your experiences. So how likely it is depends on some of those variables. But it's possible. And I don't think that it is necessarily prudent for anybody to turn away from those opportunities on the basis of your perceived obligation to date within your race, only because of how crazy and chaotic it has become. Those things would make more sense to me if we were more grounded in a place of reason. But this ain't 15, 20 years ago. We are no longer grounded in a place of wisdom. This is just open anarchy. This is, people dating strippers, sex workers, porn stars. It's just open season on everything. It's open season on all kinds of boundaries or lack thereof, standards, lack thereof, preferences, lack thereof. People on both sides. Men don't want to date a woman unless she's this. Women don't want to date a guy unless he makes this kind of money or does blah 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 or is this kind of tall. Da 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 da. So it's just kind of all over the place. And because it's all over the place, you kind of owe it to yourself to explore every possibility. That's my opinion. Um, but at the end of the day, I do see a difference in the way that these two things are received. Um, Black men do face a certain level of criticism when they do it, and I don't see that juxtaposed to when Black women do it. And I've cited my case studies. If anyone disagrees with that, feel free to let me know. But I do see a difference. Penny for your thoughts, but that's kind of how I see this one. For me, at least my initial thoughts, I think everyone in that exchange was right for the most part.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, I agree. I don't my stance is do whatever you want. Everybody do whatever you want. I don't care. I used to care. I'm gonna tell you why. And so the reason why I used to care about, because honestly, first of all, I never even really hear about, Black women getting with white guys. I mean, it happens, but I don't see it as much when I'm in public. I always see the opposite. So I always felt as though it was always in numbers, Black men doing it more than Black women. Now, what's the reasons for that? Hey, I'm not about to get into that right now, but I'm sure there's some reasons for that. But I think the community is used to seeing that from our professional athletes, actors, and our air quote successful Black men. And so it became a thing of, hey, we actually got a brother on screen. We actually got a brother that's well on his way to the Hall of Fame. We already got a brother that's doing X, Y, Z or whatever. And then as soon as you see him pull up, you got a white woman next to him. And so I think what ends up happening, I know I could speak for myself when I was younger growing up. I would look at Black men like, hey, bro, keep it in the community. You're making life-changing money. You having life-changing influence. Keep it in the community. That was my thing. And so I think a lot of people got used to seeing our brothers doing that in these successful areas. Versus, and then we'll see it going to Walmart. And then we'll just see, a Black dude with some white girl. All right. And then, so it's more often, you see it more often. And I just think that it was just one of those things where, it was like, hey, bro, just keep it in house. Versus with Black women, again, it's not really happening as much. It used to bother me all the same. Because why? Just keep it in house, keep it in the community. Now that I've gotten older, I realize there's people who want to keep it in house, keep it in the community, and there's people who don't. And I'm not mad at either one anymore. Everybody can do whatever it is that they want. If you feel like that person is your counterpart and y'all gonna be in love and y'all have some understanding, cool. If the topic of atrocities come up, if the topic of politics or finances, socioeconomic backgrounds and whatever come up, and y'all don't have any issues and y'all all good, by all means, live y'all lives. But if there is something going on culturally on either side where you have a strong stance versus the other party, whether one feels like the one is the oppressor or the other is the oppressed or what have you, they have to have that understanding. And if that understanding is being had and being met, then y'all live y'all life and be happy. And don't care what the world has to say about y'all's love because, well, y'all understand what y'all got going on. So if that's what's happening, by all means, do your thing. All right. But if it's just some type of glorified, hey, divesting in the community, some stick it to Black men because they are doing it or whatever. Hey, my bet is to those women is good luck. We're men, Black men, for Black men are only thing that I know that Black men are asking for, the reasonable ones. Is because these some dudes out here out of their mind. So I'm speaking about the reasonable dudes. And the things that the reasonable dudes are asking for are home type of things, and just my job is to go out and do the heavy lifting, the work, whoopty whoopty whoop. And this side of the family, your job is to handle this, the kids, the rearing, the this, that, all that other good jazz. When you look in other cultures, you're not really seeing that. You're seeing the women follow certain rules of being a woman. And whenever I get into debates with, a black woman about certain things, because I don't even use the word submission and stuff like that, you shouldn't have to. Things should just be natural because of culture. But when you look at different cultures of people, and cultures of women, they understand their roles. They understand what's going on. So I'll say, hey, just look at a Indian woman. Look at an Indian woman. Look how she dressed. Look how she's with the kids. Look at what she does. Look at their family structure. Look at an Asian woman. Hey, look at Mexicans. Look at Cubans. Look at what they're doing. And then you see what the women are doing, and then the men are naturally following their order. It's community. It makes sense. And like we spoke on the previous topic or whatever, the lack of culture is creating a lot of chaos. And so for our community, a lack of culture, a lack of boundaries and guidelines for masculine stuff and feminine stuff, there's just anarchy. And people are doing whatever. So the women are going, I'm not doing that. Why? Because I'm a woman? Oh, why? I'm not what? You ain't gonna tell me what to do. Oh, hey, I ain't being submissive to nobody. And you got all this rhetoric. I don't need a man. No other culture is doing this. And so my thing is, if you have that stance and you have that attitude and you want to go to another culture that has boundaries, good luck. And if you decide to fall in line for another group of people
that
because of whatever, because they're a different color, you need to look in the mirror.
That would be terrible. I agree. That is terrible.
Yeah, because I can guarantee you this. I'm pretty sure some women who've made that jump got in line because of whatever. Because not completely in line though. And another trend I've seen, if I do see a black woman with a white dude or whatever, you look at the guy, and then you go, "This guy's a pushover." This guy's. Whatever you say, hey, whatever, whoopie whoop, she want, not all cases, but in some, I'm like, hey, well, that's what she wanted anyway. She just wanted a puppy, somebody that she can carry around and boss around, and whatever. And so I see some of that stuff going on too. So my whole thing is, I just want people to have some sense of culture. And if we had some sense of culture, I don't think we would have people jumping and trying to explore something else outside of their community, because you don't see other communities really doing that. They mostly keep it in house. Ours is kind of everybody's divesting from each other. I think both sides are starting to get irritated to where we're having K Michelle unmute and say some stuff like this. But me personally, I say do what you want. If y'all find that outside of the community, fine, do your thing, live your life, just raise awesome kids, But if you're just doing this just because whatever spite or yada yada wooty woo, hey, good luck in the field, because other men are requiring more than us. So good luck.
Yeah, I can get down with that. I don't have a problem with what you said there. I was mostly speaking from the standpoint of reasonable people who find themselves in those types of setups. People who do have boundaries and morals, ethics, principles, but it just so happens that compatibility struck you with this person and they're not in your community, that type of thing.
Yeah,
right. So but what you're referring to, the ill intent approach that people take towards doing that kind of stuff, I do think that that's extremely problematic. Particularly that scenario that you brought up, it kind of suggests that for anybody who does stuff like that, you're kind of valuing them in and of, valuing what they do and who they are inherently
Mhm.
more, even though the people from your community can have those very same values too.
Exactly.
Hence why you mistreat your guys, but then you'll go over there and not mistreat them.
Right.
You think that inherently they are worthy of not being mistreated by you. So I do think that that's a serious problem. I agree with
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
But I just think, generally speaking, there's such a stratification nowadays when it comes to dating preferences. And we're
Mhm.
seeing those stratifications play out more and more. Like when it comes to the cultural stuff, I hear you. But when it comes to other things career, like career path, uh,
Mhm.
income bracket, um, you know what I'm saying? Physical preferences, height, body type. You know what I'm saying? When you start to get those things into the mix, that's when things start to get a little bit stratified. And that's when you start to see people exploring other avenues because it's like, I just want to find what it is that I'm looking for when it comes to those things specifically. And so, as long as you're not approaching it with ill intent, I say no one on either side should be getting called to the carpet for it. And K Michelle, she's like alleged. Apparently, she's like not even doing R&B anymore. She's trying to go over into country music, or I think she is a full-on country music artist. So some of this stuff to me kind of makes sense in terms of these beliefs. But at the
Oh
end of the day,
boy.
at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I don't disagree with the spirit of her message because I agree with that. I think if things weren't so chaotic now when it comes to dating preferences, I would be more in line with your initial feelings about keeping it in house. But
Mhm.
I feel like things are so all over the place when it comes to you know, things like culture and values and physical preferences and fiscal preferences and career paths, the kind of circles that you run into based upon the career path that you laid out for yourself that can find you in environments where you're just around a certain type of person or group. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And so I just think that when that is your reality, it shouldn't be a situation where you feel like you are doing the wrong thing because you are exploring possibilities within that context. And so I'll peel that away from what K. Michelle was saying, because I do think that no one should be called to the carpet for stuff like that. And the last thing that I'll say personally, and this is my personal opinion, I don't know if it's true or not, right or wrong, but it's always kind of what I've always thought. I really do feel like the only reason truly why black women in particular express such an issue with black men dating out is something that you alluded to in your remarks, which is they don't have those same opportunities in enough of a quantity. I feel like that's always been in it. Like I feel like if all things were equal and non-black men were checking for black women as much as non-black women check for black men, I don't think that they would be as pissed off about it. I think a big part of the reason why they get so pissed off about it is because they don't have those same opportunities in return. But that's just how I see that one personally. All of those other things aside, because things like building up community and building up family, those things are important. But I think that if you take those things out of the box and we're just looking at the bare bones of everything, I don't think that it would be so loud in terms of their objection if they had the same or at least an approximation of the opportunities that black men get to do those same things.
Yep.
That's always been my inclination. But it is what it is. I don't mind what she said, but I also don't mind what you said. Like I really do feel like everybody's right. I just think everybody owes it to themselves in this day and age because of how wild and crazy it is to just get with your person and do the best you can. So that's not to spurn people who want to keep it in house. I don't mind that at all. I champion that. I agree with that. I also champion people who say, I'm just trying to get what I can find that can make me happy. I also champion that too. I think everybody in this equation is kind of right. So it is what it is, man. It's an
Yeah.
interesting conversation though.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm also with that. So, like as I already mentioned, do your thing, And as I always say, my caveat is make sure it's for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do stuff for superficial reasons, and then they get into some real situations with the superficial situation and realize that it was just superficial.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh shit, I really only wanted it for X, Y, and Z, but I also see that, you know what I'm saying, LOP makes some sense too. Oh, I gotta, it's like, yeah, man, you gotta, there's a whole thing going on here when you allow somebody else into your house, into your world, into your culture, and all that other good jazz, and vice versa. You got to have respect for them too, man. And so it's like, hey, bro, you got to care about Irish history now.
Yeah.
So when she's talking about this and this and that, you can't be like, I don't care.
Right.
He's like, nah, bro, you better care about her, her heritage and wearing kilts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
it's
agree.
like, wait, if you want her to put that dashiki on and do Kwanzaa with you, so you better care about that too. And if y'all not, and if you ain't feeling that way, and you just wanted it for that silky hair and that that nice ass, then it's like, no, bro, you doing this for the wrong reasons. And I would also argue people who do it within culture, and if they're doing it for those things, are also doing it for the wrong reasons. And so that's why people out here, instead of looking at her for her nice behind or her nice whatever, you have to make sure that she identifies with your value systems as well. And if she doesn't identify with your value systems, then you're just doing it for superficial reasons, and you're going to find out the hard way as well. So it goes within race and outside. So my thing is, have fun. And that's what I'm saying, for the ones that are doing it for malintent and doing it just because of, oh, hey, I can explore my options. Okay, good luck. And all that stuff that black men were asking you for, the white man's going to ask you for that too. The Chinese, the Mexican, or whatever, and they're going to double down. And they're going to ask for more. So good luck, have fun. And then you'll see that, oh, wow, it wasn't X, Y. It's like, no, this is what men want from me. Yes. So have at it, everybody. But again, I agree with you. All are correct, but just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah, that's definitely that's definitely true, man. Definitely got to be on the same page with it for sure. I just don't like the automatic default criticism, because you don't know the dynamic. You don't know the dynamics of those people's relationship, and I just don't like the way we sometimes have this propensity to just automatically attack it. And it's like, and mind you, a lot of the times these people who be attacking these interracial setups, they be single. So it's like, who are you to talk about this stuff? You have nobody, but you feel like you are in a place to criticize this person because they dated whoever. Like, I don't know. To me, it's just kind of goofy. But I do definitely hear your thought, though. It's definitely got to be for the right reason. And my opinion on it was under the assumption that we're dealing with people who do things reasonably. People who don't do things reasonably, they got a whole can of problems that they got to sort out. Definitely.
Facts.